Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sonic Look Conversations. It's our interview series built around honest, unfiltered dialogue with artists about their work, their process, and the lives they are living alongside their music. Today, we're catching up with Magnus from Voltaire's Ghost. You might remember Voltaire's Ghost from an interview we did earlier. From an interview we did earlier, I guess. Voltaire's Ghost is from Western Colorado, and they conjure up a sound both haunted and human. The trio fuses cinematic rock with gothic romanticism, and their songs feel both cinematic and personal, like they could score a film but still break your heart. So, Magnus, thanks for taking some time and joining us here on Sonic Look Conversations.
Oh, it's our pleasure, man. Always happy to join.
Awesome. Now, you do have a new album that will be coming out soon, and that's Black Petals Fallen. And you're also taking your desert-born darkness, if you will, to new depths, going across the ocean or the Atlantic to the UK, traveling up to Seattle. So you got a lot of cool things in the works.
Yeah, we do. We're going on our first international tour. We got a date in London coming up in March, and we're really excited about that. And then up to the Northwest in April. Then we have a big festival in Colorado in June. And we're recording and writing new stuff all the time. So we got a lot of work to do, but we're really excited. The London's especially exciting for us. A lot of the bands we love come from the UK, and it's our first international trip as a band, so we're super excited. You always wonder like what the audience is going to be like, and we do know. I mean, we have a lot of listeners in the UK, so we're super excited about it. It's going to be really interesting to see, especially since it's just the three of us. We don't have a fourth member right now, but that's cool. The three of us will go, and we're happy to play.
Awesome. Well, what does this moment feel like right now for you?
It feels like a different, bigger step.
Okay.
I would say in other years we had more shows but smaller shows. It feels like this year there's fewer but bigger. Bigger audiences, bigger platforms, longer journeys. and we're trying to mix up the set a little too. For we have so many new songs that we are loving and excited about, and it's funny because as a musician, we have this album we recorded last year, and that's coming out this year. Those are going to be new songs to the audience. To us, right. We've been playing those songs for 2 years now. so the new thing is interesting. We do have a set we're preparing with mostly new songs, and by new I mean not even on the album that's coming out.
Oh,
so
cool.
New to us even, and we love them. We've been working really hard on them, so we're really excited to play. And they're challenging songs to play too. So just really looking forward to it.
Well, let me follow up with that. When you do step out on stage with this new material, what are you hoping the room feels like? What are you hoping they get from these songs?
Oh man, that's a great question. Here's what I hope they get. I think I can speak for Josh and Ruby. Wow, I thought I knew what kind of band this was. I wasn't expecting
this
X
gotcha.
or Y, right? Because we have, some of the new stuff. Some of it's like scorching metal, and some of it's really soft and lilting. We have this new song called "Whisper in the Dark," and Josh said it sounds like U2, but with someone else joining. I can't remember who he said, but we have some really different stuff for us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be, how it all goes down together. It remains to be seen, but we're really stretching out. We love it.
Awesome. Well, you did mention Josh saying U2, so and the other mix of it. But when your sound pulls from so many different places, what's maybe one influence that people might not expect when they hear you?
Great question. Not expect. You know, Ruby is such a hodgepodge of influences. She's her, her musical theater background, I think, might be unexpected for people. Um, when she brings in lyrics and she sings them for us for the first time, every time she does, I can imagine them being on stage in a musical.
Okay, okay, yeah, I
Uh,
get that.
and there are times when we break down a song and it'll go back into that territory. So and we're writing a musical actually. so so
Yes. I was just about to say, you guys, why not just write a musical?
well, we've been putting that together for a while, and that's definitely Ruby's influence and her idea.
Mhm.
And some of the songs on the new album are kind of pieces taken from that,
Okay.
But and then I've written a lot of instrumental music that was, I used to do a lot of music for a friend's film project. So there's a lot of instrumental stuff that we have that we would
Yeah.
love to deploy for film or television at some point. We got a lot of material for that. Bottom line, dude, it sounds, I don't know how this sounds, but we have more material than we know what to do with. Every time we get together, we're like, okay, we got to practice this song because we have this show coming up. And then Ruby's like, oh, but I wrote this week. Or I'll be like, oh, guys, I have this new riff I just came up with. And before I know it, we're writing a new song. And I'm like, guys, we have to, we can't do this every time. It's very gratifying to be in a band with so much material, though. Um, so we're blessed, really blessed in that sense. And the writing partnership that I have with Ruby is it's just endless. It's endless.
Yeah.
We just did it again on Sunday. We just did it again. I had this line and she comes out of the bathroom and she's like, what are you playing? And I'm like, I don't know, it just came out of me. And then she gets up on the mic and before we know it, we're working on a new song, which I love. Don't get me wrong. I love.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get that. I mean, being in the room when musicians such as yourself and Ruby and Josh, and you guys come up with something out of nowhere and it just materializes, that feeling, even as a bystander witnessing that, is just magical. And it gives me goosebumps every time I even think about it.
And I think, you're with the right people when they can do that to you.
Yeah.
That song "Whisper in the Dark" I was just talking about, that happened after a rehearsal was breaking up, and I was just noodling around on the guitar, and I stepped on my octave pedal accidentally, and just hit on the sound. And Josh was at his kit, and he just starts this beat.
Yeah.
It just fit perfectly with it. And again, Ruby comes out of the bathroom, he's like, "What are you guys playing?" And we're like, "I don't know." And then she gets on the mic, and then we wrote that song within an hour, just accidentally. It's such a gift. It's really, there's nothing like it when something beautiful comes out of you that couldn't have come out of you if those people hadn't been in that room with you at that moment. There's just nothing like it,
Exactly. Well, I think if you ever have a writer's block or anything, you just need to send Ruby into the bathroom and then just, just mess around and then something magical will happen when she comes out.
That's our system. I guess that's our system.
Let's talk a little bit about the new album, Black Petals Fallen. Now, I remember in our written interview, you mentioned that it was about 64% done, but now it seems like it's a lot further along. And
It's in the can.
Awesome. It's getting ready to drop. Um, is there a song on the album that feels like the truest version of what Voltaire's Ghost is becoming?
I mean, the title track, I would say, is one of our favorites. We had two singles from this album come out already. Alex Street and Spirit Animal are both from this album. Although the album versions are a little different. There's a different mix. We worked with Joe Ayub in LA, who's the head engineer at Cherokee Studios, Grammy-nominated guy. Drew Levine did the mastering, another Grammy-nominated guy. Both of them just did amazing work on this. And we actually went in the studio in the last minute and added another track at the last minute. Again, going back to our process, just it occurred to me one night. I was in a dream, woke up, played this guitar part, brought it into Ruby the next day, got lyrics down in a second, and we were like, we got to put this on the album. And then, of course, everyone we're working with is like, but it's done. Are you guys crazy? We don't need another song. But it's coming out this year. Release date to be determined. We're thinking about maybe doing another single. You know, the industry is so different now. There used to be a whole set thing that you had to do, a certain number of singles, but it's all in flux now. So we're just kind of feeling it out. But we're ready to drop it this year, one way or the other.
Awesome. Yeah, just do what feels right for you guys, right?
Yeah, and the title track it's about death, and it has different scenes, each with something symbolizing death in those scenes. It's beautiful lyrically, it's beautiful musically. We love to play it, and I think that would be a good summation of where we were when we recorded the album.
Awesome. Well, that's a great lead into my next question for you, which was if someone walked into Black Petals Fallen as like a physical space, what would they see, smell, feel?
I think it would be one of the scenes from the title track. There's a white room. It's a room in white with liquid light. There's a white coffin at the front of the room with a spot of blood on it.
Okay.
And then it begins to rain black rose petals in the room.
Wow.
That's the last verse of that song, and I think it's a good summation of the feel of the whole record. And that lyric actually comes from a poem I wrote a long time ago. And Ruby just gave it this amazing melody and sense of space with her vocal. So we're really excited about it.
That sounds amazing. I mean, and the way you just described it, I'm just picturing that, and it's so cinematic, and that's what I love about your guys' sound. It does really lend itself to this epic cinema type of vibe and feel.
I love that you think that. That's how we feel. We love movies. We love horror movies. We go see a lot of horror movies. We review them sometimes on Instagram as a band. I think we're all influenced by that approach. I definitely, when I'm writing music, have a sense of a place. Mm-hmm. You know, I always have a place in mind. And it's harder for me. You know, I'm like Ruby and Josh. I'm not a real musician. I can only play the music that I write. And sometimes I can barely play but Ruby and Josh are real musicians. So for me to work, I have to have a place in mind, or a scene, or a setting of some kind in my head that's visual.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. So after your tour, after the album releases, what's next for Voltaire's Ghost?
We got enough music in the can for a musical, another full album, an EP. We've been working on this a country goth EP. Oh, it's all country songs, but with a goth twist and some really interesting instrumentation, some banjos, some washboard rhythm, a lot of harmonica. You know, we've been all sort of raised around country and bluegrass our whole lives, being in Western Colorado. And even though that's not our favorite type of music, it definitely seeps into you just because it's in the environment. And we have some songs that would just fit perfectly on something like that. So we're really excited about that too. That'll probably be the next project. And I want to cut it quick. Like, we spent over a year working on Black Petals, but for this country goth EP, I want it dirty and quick. Go into the studio, knock 5 songs out in a day, just with whatever's around us. That's right. What I want to do.
I like that. I mean, I like when musicians do like the genre bending, you know, genre blurring type of thing. So that's exciting.
Yeah, we're excited about it. And you know, our first record we did in a couple of days in Nashville. And I know afterwards we all thought, gosh, I wish we had more time to work on it. Next time we do a record, we're going to take our time. And then we did. And then that took over a year. And they were like, why did we spend so much time? You know? So I guess you always want to do the opposite of what you just said, right?
Right. Got to find the right little sweet spot in there.
But can I just say one thing? I really appreciate what you're doing. We were so impressed with the write-up that you did for us, not just because you were nice and a good interviewer, which is true, but I also felt like your insights were spot on as far as a music lover and critic. And so not blowing smoke here, but I strongly recommend other artists, if you have an opportunity to get looked at by you guys, that they take that opportunity, because we really appreciated your insights and the way you went about it. So just thank you for everything you're doing for bands. Get the word out. Very helpful. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I really enjoy doing this. I didn't think I had a passion for much, but then when I started this, it was like, wow, I think I found it. So
you can really tell. You can really tell, because, there's a lot of music bloggers and music press, and a lot of it, no shit on anyone in particular, not particularly well written, not particularly insightful, a lot of it. But you just brought a real acumen to the verbal describing of the music, and everything was just really refreshing. And everyone that we shared our interview with you with said the same thing. What a great interview. What a great comment. What a great insight. So it's so needed in this industry to have thoughtful critics like yourself.
Appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. Well, I'm going to end this interview with one last question for you, Magnus, and that is, if your audience could ask you one thing after listening to Black Petals Fallen, what would you want it to be?
Give us the unreleased material. Because when I hear an album that I love, I'm always like, I know there's more in the can. You guys are holding out. And that's true. That would be true. We got a lot more in the can that didn't make it on the album for whatever reason. But that's what I hope. In other words, more. Give us more. We want more of that. Right. That's what I'd love to hear.
Now, would you ever consider doing like a follow-up to the album that has more of that, like a box set almost type of deal?
God, I love box sets. I kind of miss them. I would love to do. I think Ryan Adams did this, and also Carly Rae Jepsen did this. I'm a huge Carly Rae fan, by the way. We're not snobs. We love good pop music. And Voltaire's Ghost. She released a B-sides album of an album. And I think Ryan Adams did the same thing. Like, here's the album, and then here's the album, but B-sides. I would love to do that. I think that's a great idea.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. I mean, I was just thinking about that from my photographer standpoint. When people ask me, "Oh, can I have all the raw files?" I'm like, maybe you shouldn't get those raw files. So, but in your case, it's only going to add to the lore of the album. I think it's just going to show more how much more in depth it could have been or can be. So that's really cool.
Yeah. Or there could be different mixes of some of the songs. I mean, as a music fan, I always love that stuff where, like, an artist will put out later, like, oh, remember that album? Here's that album, and here's the different mixes. I mean, Bob Dylan's made a whole 75th career out of that with the bootleg series. Oh my gosh, here's 20 different other mixes of song X from an album from 20 years ago. As if you love that artist, I mean, that's the stuff you really sink your teeth into. Billy Corgan's crazy like that. When he releases the anniversary editions of some of the Pumpkins albums, there's dozens or hundreds of different takes, mixes, alternate approaches to different songs. I love that as a music lover.
I completely agree. Well, Magnus, for people who are listening to this and don't quite know you yet, where's the best place for them to follow your journey?
voltairesghost.com. Get all our tour dates on there. Bio, EPK, photographs, all that stuff. Follow us on Insta. Insta is where we're most active. I don't know how you feel, man, but managing 20 different social media sites. It's just exhausting. We find we get the most bang for the buck on Instagram, so that's where we're most active. So I would recommend, if you're going to follow us on social, that's the best place. Where we post pretty much daily on there.
Awesome. Well, Magnus, thank you so much for taking some time to chat with us here in SONIQLOOX. We really appreciate it.
Anytime, man. Good to see you.